Sorry to be right in your face, but my camera mount broke, so I basically mounted the camera right up to the visor, and so it's kind of close instead of back at the windshield like normal. I just left the dentist, did another fitting with the fake teeth, the dentures, and it looks a lot better. It looks a lot more similar to my natural teeth. But then realized that, my front tooth here had chipped. So it's kind of at an angle. It chipped. So I'm going to go ahead and have them, fill it to, level it off like normal, like my real teeth were before it broke. And then the model, the fake teeth, the dental, the denture, they're going to need to level that tooth. But yeah, it looks a lot better than the fitting from last time. Sadly, they're not going to be able to get me in for like a month. So it's going to be at least another month before I get my teeth. But it'll be nice to basically have teeth and not have this big gap in the middle of my mouth anymore. So that's a really good thing. It'll be nice to basically be able to smile without looking like this. But I had an incident happen this weekend, this Sunday. Actually, it started before Sunday. So let me tell the story here. But I guess the title kind of gave it away. I had a kidney stone that passed this weekend. Oh my gosh. If you've ever had a kidney stone, then you know, just like I do now, how painful and how bad it really is. I used to have people tell me they had a kidney stone, they had kidney stones they got to deal with, and you say, oh, I'm so sorry. But you really have no idea unless you have it yourself, and then you're like, holy schmoly. Well, let me put it this way. They say that the pain from a kidney stone is like equivalent to giving birth. And I would tell you this, if men had to experience a kidney stone before deciding if they were going to give birth to a baby, there would be no babies. Okay? It was so intense. But I basically, I don't know if you guys recall, I had to pull my own teeth out before. I pulled out my molars, the back teeth, the big ones, with my bare hand, and that was painful. I cried when I did that. I pulled my teeth out because it was cracked, and I got only part of the tooth out, like half of it. But that hurt like you wouldn't believe, and I was able to pull it out, and that hurt really bad. But the kidney stone was like 1,000 times more intense. That's how intense it was. I thought I was dying. I thought I was gonna die. So what happened was, I had gone into the hospital, and I had some blood work and urine tests done right before this started. So on last Wednesday, this past week, I went and had some blood work done, and the urine, when I gave them the urine sample, was clear, was normal. But then on Thursday, my urine started not looking so normal. It was kind of really dark brown, like Coca-Cola color, like almost like Coca-Cola, except thick, like you couldn't see through it. It wasn't translucent. So I was like, okay, what is causing this? This is the first time I've ever seen this. This is not normal. But I wasn't hurting or anything. So I was like, maybe I'm dehydrated, like ultra dehydrated. So I started drinking more, but then I would pee more. But each time I peed, it came out that same Coca-Cola color, but thick, like you couldn't see through it. And I was like, okay, I'm not hurting, so maybe I need to schedule another doctor's appointment and ask them what's up with this. So I was like, I'll schedule an appointment. Well, let me give it a day and see how it does. Then on Friday, it was still doing that. It was still coming out like dark brown, all thick, and actually smelled funny. Didn't smell like urine. So I was like, okay, this isn't good, but by the time I got ready to I had to go again and saw that it was bad, it was already late. in the afternoon, and the clinic, the VA clinic, was closed. So I was like, I'll have to deal with this on Monday. So what I would do is first thing Monday, I will call and see if I can come in, and have the urine sampled and tested and see what's wrong with me, because this isn't normal. So then on Saturday, everything was fine. I wasn't hurting or anything until Saturday afternoon. I went out and I got like a Burger King, two Burger King, the little bacon burger thingies. And right after I ate them, my stomach started hurting. It started hurting in my belly, and I was like, I wonder if the kid gave me food poisoning. The kid that served me the food. I was like, I wonder if he had dirty hands or something, and I got sick. But that's pretty fast that it reacted that way. But I was like, well, my stomach hurts. I don't feel so well. So I wasn't feeling well Saturday evening. But on a scale from 1 to 10, the pain, I would say it's probably like a 2. So I was like, it wasn't too bad, And then on Sunday morning when I woke up, there was no pain at all. Then I did some work, some pretty heavy work. Not really heavy, but a lot of work, like manual labor. And worked for about 4 hours. Then went to get something to eat. And I had some rice with sausages, which is like not anything weird or wild or anything. And as soon as I finished eating, the pain came. And then it started to rise up. It was a 1, then a 2, then a 3, then a 4. I was like, okay, this is not looking good. I might need to call, but the VA was closed. They only open Monday through Friday, the clinic. So I was like, okay, what to do? Maybe I can ride this out till Monday morning. 30 minutes later, the pain was like off the charts. They say 10 is the maximum, man. No. The pain from a kidney stone is like 1,000. It's not a 10, it's 1,000. I was literally on the floor crying, and I couldn't do anything. I couldn't sit. It wouldn't make it feel better when I sat. It didn't make it better when I stood. It didn't make it better when I laid down. And the pain was like, you say, where is it? I'm like, I don't know. It's inside. It felt like it was the upper back, the kidney on the left side. And then it felt like it was along my whole side in the middle. Then it felt like it was right below my tummy. So I was like, I'm dying. I think this is what it feels like when you're dying. It hurts really bad, and you can't do anything about it. So I was like, at that point, I was like, I'm gonna go to the ER. I'm going to the ER. But then I was like, well, my insurance with my job has like a $5,000 deductible before the insurance actually kicks in. So I'm like, okay, I don't really want to go to a regular civilian hospital unless I absolutely have to. I need to reach the VA. So I tried to call the VA, in Orlando, because the Brevard County one was closed, and I actually got through finally, and was going through their press 1 for this, press 2 for that. I got all the way to the end, and then it hung up on me. Mind you, my pain threshold, my pain was now at level 10, level 1,000 basically. I was like, I could barely move. I was like dying. And then I was like, I'm gonna have to go to a local hospital, just go into the ER. And then I decide, man, I don't know if I want to deal with that, because I go there, then I'm gonna have to pay $5,000 or more, and then I don't know what's gonna happen. So I tried one more time to call the VA and actually got through to a nurse. And then they did a checklist. They started asking me, where's the pain? Do you feel this? Can you stand? Did you throw up? Did you faint? And I was like, no, I didn't throw up. I didn't faint. But I'm hurting right now. I'm hurting really, really bad. I can barely talk. I'm hurting really, really bad. Well, she went through the checklist and asked me about like 5 or 6 questions. She said, you need to come in, but if you can't make it to the VA hospital, the ER, then go to a civilian one, and then you have to call this number right afterwards to contact the VA. Otherwise, I'll be stuck with the bill. So then I was like, okay, Orlando's like a little bit over an hour away, but I'm going to try to drive myself, which was crazy. But, I had to drive myself to Orlando feeling like I was dying. I was literally like hobbling, grabbing my belly like I'd been shot or something. And then I got in the car and sat down, and it was like the pain was so severe. I was like, I can faint. I could possibly faint while I'm driving. But I managed to hold it together and drove all the way up to Orlando and got to the VA hospital. But by the time I got to the hospital, the pain threshold had dropped down to like maybe a 7. So it had actually started to drop. Then I went into the ER and they got me in right away. There was like, I was in there and I waited, I think, a total of like 1 or 2 minutes. Then they got me inside and started examining me. They started withdrawing blood, a whole bunch of blood. And then right after the blood, they did another urine. But by now, when I did the urine test at the VA, it was somewhat clear. Not clear, but it was lighter color than the almost pitch dark, deep brown, unclear. But when I got to the VA, it was starting to clear up a little bit, but it was still kind of dark brown. So they ended up testing that, and they did a CAT scan, scanned my whole lower body to look for stuff. And then they also did COVID testing. So at least as of Sunday, I don't have COVID. So that's what they did. And then came out and they said basically, they were concerned about COVID or whatever because my white blood cells were up. But turned out it wasn't COVID. It was just probably my body fighting an infection or something of some sort. But turned out to be a kidney stone. And they said that because they saw some formations. And I think I even know how it formed after reading up on it. But you guys know I've been dieting. I've lost about 25 pounds, to deal with the diabetes. So my sugar level, my A1C is now 6.2. I'm trying to get it down to 5.7, which would be normal. 6.2, you're considered pre-diabetic. But I've been eating a lot of salads for lunch, like 2 bowls of salad, 2 servings of salad. And the salad had like spinach. It was a spring mix with spinach. And then also I had vinegar, the ginseng salad dressing from Makoto's, which has a lot of vinegar in it. And, vinegar tends to melt stuff like calcium and deposits and stuff. So that was a potential reason for the stone being released. But there was also another big reason. One of the things I had mentioned was that you constantly feel hungry when you're eating, mostly greens instead of meat and rice like I normally do. So I had been eating nuts, peanuts. I don't have any here right now, but I've been eating peanuts and mixed nuts. Like, they have the big container that's about like this big at Walmart that they sell for about $8 or $9. I would eat one of those containers in like 1 or 2 days. That's how fast I was going through nuts. So I would eat like 1 container in about 1 or 2 days, and then I'd eat like 1 container, a week. Once a week I would do that. Sometimes 2 containers in a week. So I was eating a lot of nuts. Well, I read up later, and it turns out that nuts, peanuts, as well as mixed, like pecans and almonds and all that, they contain a chemical. They contain a chemical that can cause kidney stones to form. So I think the combination of me eating all those nuts suddenly over the last 3 months might have caused a fast formation of the stones. But the other thing was me eating all the salad dressing with all that vinegar in it could be knocking any stones, any buildup that was there out. But yeah, I was fortunate that it wasn't like more than it was, at least for now. When it passed, what they did was they gave me a strainer, and they wanted me to basically, how you hunt for gold by straining for gold in water? They wanted me to strain my urine for the rocks, the stones. So I strained it that night, and all I found were these little tiny things that were like smaller than a pinhead. They were kind of reddish brown, and I was like, okay, I can't believe these tiny little things, fragments that look like smaller than a pinhead, could hurt me that much. But I was like, I thought I was dying. So I thought that was that. Then the next morning, this gets kind of funny because you don't know when you're going to pee. You know, they told me to drink lots of fluids, like at least 12 cups a day to try to force the system to flush out. So then oh, by the way, before I forget, if you have this kind of issue, you can take painkillers. You can take like Motrin, or what's it called? I don't think they said aspirin, but you could take, what's the other stuff? Maybe, I forget what it is. But Motrin and some of the others you can take, but you can look it up. It's basically, you could take that for the pain. Because normally, if your stones are smaller, you can pass it yourself. You don't even really need to go to the hospital unless you're dying, you know, like me, you thought you were dying. And in the future, if this happened again, you know, I would probably not go to the hospital. I'd just take some painkillers, some Motrin or something, or Aleve or something like that, you know, to help me. But basically, the next morning when I went to work, I had to take the strainer with me. And then when I had to urinate in the morning, well, I didn't have to urinate. I had to go to the bathroom for like number 2. This gets really bad. So I was on the can for number 2, but sometimes when you go to do number 2, number 1 starts first, right? So I'm sitting there and I didn't take the strainer because I was like, I'm just gonna do number 2, and I had urinated earlier, did number 1, and I strained it and there was nothing there other than, you know, the pee was still dark brown. But then I went on the toilet for number 2 and I sat down, and sure enough, I started to pee and out came a stone. And it wasn't a tiny one. It was the size of, you know, Rice Krispies? You know how they fry the rice? They fry it and it pops open, it becomes pretty big. So it's the size of a Rice Krispie. But maybe a little bit longer than a Rice Krispie, but about as wide as a Rice Krispie. And it fell into the toilet. And this was before I did number 2. So I'm sitting there and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, oh man, I have to get it out of there. So I got to get something so I can grab, I don't want to stick my hand in the toilet. I'm going to have to grab that rock out of the toilet. So I stood up, but it was one of those automatic toilets. You know how they flush automatically? So when I stood up, it started to flush. I had to go, shh. I was like, shit. I dove my hands right into the toilet and grabbed the stone as the water was flushing and swirling down and washing everything down. And I pulled out the stone like it was some kind of golden nugget. But I salvaged the stone. So I got the stone and I put it in my canister, and I was like, okay. It was amazing because, you know, I felt it come out, but it didn't hurt. So I was like, my pee hole must be really big. That was the thought going through my head. I was like, my pee hole must be pretty big. That rock was pretty big. And I felt it come out, but it didn't hurt. And then that was yesterday morning. But yeah, that was Monday morning. So that was yesterday morning. Since then, my urine's been going more to normal. You know, it's slowly started going more towards yellow and clear. Started clearing up. And by today, it's mostly clear. And because I'm drinking a lot of water, it's almost white. You know, it's barely yellow. So I'm like, I think all the stones that were loose have been washed out. And I only had the little fragments in that one Rice Krispie sized one. So I have to have a follow-up appointment with the urologist and take it in, because I guess they're gonna do a reading, analyze it and see what made it up. But I get the feeling it was probably the nuts, all the nuts I've been eating. Or it could be old ones that have been sitting there for a long time, and because of the vinegar from the salad, it broke off. Now, regarding the teeth, you know, somebody had asked a question. Let me look real quick here. I'm going to try to answer. Somebody asked me my thoughts on the teeth. It'd be nice to have my teeth, you know, even though they're not real, it's not as good as real teeth. So if you still have your real teeth, take good care of them. That's all I will say. But I was able to send them a picture of my teeth, you know, before it broke. Because the first batch that they made, they put a gap in the middle, which looked horrendous. So they had the wax teeth. That's what the picture was the wax tooth. You know, the wax denture, just for try on to see how it would look before we finalize it. And it was good, except then I noticed that my front tooth here, see how it's angled? That's because a piece of it had chipped off. A piece of my front tooth had chipped, so it's a weird angle. It's like a curved angle. And when they made the second round, when they made the fake teeth, you know, to try on, they angled the fake one. So if we went with that, then my two front teeth would make it like a little curtain, which would be stupid looking. Then the teeth go up, you know, like a V, an inverted V, which would be goofy. So I asked the dentist, I said, hey, can we do a filler? Can you level my existing tooth, you know, bond something there to make it level like my teeth used to be, then fix the fake one so it's level too. So that's the plan. So hopefully the next time you see me, I'll have the teeth. Now, when I did try on the fake teeth, it looked good. It looked almost, I would say, probably 90% like my real teeth did. But I had a hard time talking. And I'm like, well, if it's going to be like that, it's going to be hard speaking unless I have to learn how to adapt. I might end up speaking kind of funny like this, because, you know. But it was loose, so the dentist tightened it. So maybe that's what it was. Maybe I was afraid of it falling out. So I was talking kind of funny. But you're supposed to be able to eat in it. So it'll be nice to have the teeth. They were kind of expensive. Luckily, I had the insurance. The filling, I'm going to have to pay out of pocket. But he's going to charge me like $98. $98 to level the tooth, to put the little glue or whatever there to level it off. And then to fix the other teeth so they match. So the next time you see me, I'll try to broadcast with the teeth, you know, if I don't broadcast before then. And see how I sound, because it might be hard to understand me. If it's hard to talk like that, that's going to be a problem. Maybe it would be good, because then I just shut my mouth most of the time, keep my mouth shut. I don't know. But that's what's going on this end. I'm just going to say hi to everybody here. Mary says, where are the new teeth? They're at the dentist right now. They're at the shop. The dentist just did the fitting, locked it in, and I signed off saying I agree that the design was acceptable. So the plan is they're going to send it back to the technicians who will make the acrylic one. The ones that you were looking at in the picture were wax teeth. So they're going to do the final one in acrylic. And then the dentist is going to do a final shaping and a final filling on this part to level it out. And then but it's going to be like, they're so booked over there, it's going to be like more than a month before they can see me again, which sucks. I'm eager to get my teeth, you know. The whole mask issue, a lot of people have had shots and don't have to wear masks now. I'm still wearing my mask because I didn't get my shots. It's not that I don't believe in the vaccine. I think the vaccine works, but I'm anti-medication to start off with. You know, I don't like medication unless I'm dying. And with the vaccine especially, you know, from my perspective, 99.9999% of the people are fine with it. But it's that 0.001% or whatever it is that has issues. And the issues are they can die. You know, they would be fine. They get the shot and they could die. And I know, you know, my chance of dying from it is slim. But my experience in the past with the flu, when I was in the military, the first year I was in the military, I decided to get the flu shot. Prior to that, you know, before I went in the military, I never got sick. Everybody around me would be sick, but I would never ever get sick. And when I went in the military, they said, do you want the flu shot? You know, you should get the flu shot to protect yourself. As soon as I got the flu shot, I became really, really sick. You know, I was like dying sick. I was like, holy schmoly. They weakened it so that my body could fight it, but it ended up making me super, super sick. It did something to my own immunity. Because prior to that, I never ever got sick before. People would have the flu and I'd be fine around them, you know. But after I took the vaccine for the flu, I was terribly ill. And I was like, well, same thing could happen with the COVID. So unless they mandate it for me to get the shot if I decide to travel to Thailand, which may be happening here, guys. Don't know how long, though. Might be a while. Because until COVID gets straightened out, I'm on a holding pattern. I'm kind of in limbo, which is good because it's giving me time to, save money and stabilize a little bit, get my teeth fixed, and deal with all the loose ends. Um, Also, I wanted to point out, I'm going to do another video, I think. I told you I was going to do a video to help vets like me that might get some help, but I'm going to talk a little bit about it, maybe. I'll talk about it right now. If you're a veteran and you're homeless, make sure you contact the nearest VA hospital or clinic. Contact them and ask for their social worker, and they can get you started. They could end up helping you immensely, like they helped me, to the point where my homelessness is about to end. Okay, actually, as of right now, it's over. I'm not homeless anymore. Now, I haven't been broadcasting because I've been busy, but the other reason is I'm trying to not broadcast everything about my life because of all the trolls and haters and crazies out there. So I've been kind of hesitant about sharing personal information based on what happened in the past, with sharing information, and then you got all the weirdos, all the trolls and stuff. So I'm debating how much I want to reveal, but I will let you know that I'm no longer homeless, thanks to the VA. They have actually, but it wasn't just a VA. It took time. Government agencies are very slow in response, but I think I owe everything really to, a lot of it I owe to my viewers on this channel. I had a lot of people that stepped in and helped me along the way and kept me afloat long enough. They bought me time, basically. It was time. I needed time to recover, and the people on this channel basically held me up long enough till the VA actually kicked in. And what happened was this. The VA knew I was homeless, so they give you automatic service, but they are limited in what they can do to help you. But as a homeless vet, even if you don't qualify for anything else, you do qualify for medical. So if you're a homeless veteran and you're like, well, I'm not homeless. If you're living in a van because you can't afford a house or something and you're a vet, you are a homeless vet by legal definition or whatever. Even though you might not consider yourself homeless, the VA will help you. You can get free medical. Other than dental. You can't get dental, but you can get anything. Okay? And now, this is how I ended up going over the curve, like getting out of homelessness. When the VA was helping me, they ended up testing me. Like when you go in for your appointments and stuff, they always ask you, how do you feel, what's going on, and blah, 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 blah. They have a screening they do now. They started this up, I guess, recently, where they screen all vets that come in for medical appointments and stuff like that. They're screening you for PTSD or anything that you may have and you don't even know it. Like I didn't even know I had PTSD. And other issues. Okay. So what happened was on one of the screenings, the nurse noted on there that I was showing a lot of the criteria for PTSD. So then they sent me for further testing with psychiatrists and whatnot. And they ended up determining that I was suffering from PTSD and some other factors. So they stuck me with a psychiatrist that I'd been seeing. I don't really say seeing. It was more like teleconference. But he'd been working with me to try to help me out and stuff. But during the course of that conversation with him, trying to help me get my brain back, basically, because I was all messed up. One of our viewers, who was also a veteran, there are several vets here trying to help me out too. They're behind the scenes. But they suggested that maybe I should look into filing a claim of PTSD since I was diagnosed with PTSD and see if it was military related. And then the psychiatrist, the VA psychiatrist who'd been talking to me also recommended that maybe I should file. And I was like, well, I don't know how to file or anything because I know all this stuff. And my military service was like 30 years ago. We're talking like I was a kid. I was in my 20s, okay? And I was like, that's so long ago. And I got out and I was functioning, sort of. But if you look at the history, I got out and I was functioning and got arrested for domestic violence and all sorts of crazy stuff. I just thought that was just life, okay? But what the VA is saying is basically they will ask you some questions and stuff like that. Well, let's go in sequence so I can help those that need it. There's a group called DAV, Disabled American Veterans, okay? And they are basically other veterans, some of them disabled, who are going to try to help you file a claim. And you may have a claim and you don't even know it. Like I didn't know it. But what happened was when the psychiatrist told me I should file, and also several other vets here, that have watched the channel, they're like, you might be suffering from certain symptoms. You might want to look into it. So the psychiatrist pointed me towards DAV, the Disabled American Veterans. And they will act almost like an attorney for free to help you file. Because going through all this red tape is really confusing and hard, especially if your brain's been scrambled, okay, from your military service and maybe stuff that happened afterwards. Okay, so DAV helped me to file it. It took more than a year. It took about a year for it to process through the VA. Then they did. Then they hired a third-party company to interview me and analyze whether or not what happened to me, was service-connected. And that's the key, is they want to determine if your time in the military caused the issue that you're having right now. And then based on that, they determine how disabled you are. They have a thing called a disability rating that they give you. So, and that disability rating actually equates to compensation. They will actually pay you a disability rating based on your disability rating. The higher the rating, the more they pay you. So if you get 100% rating, they actually give you like $4,000 a month. That's enough to like retire. Okay, so I didn't get a 100% disability rating because I'm functional. Okay, but they did determine that my time in the military and what happened with my job, even though my job, I wasn't a combatant, so you don't have to be someone with a tank or a gun and all sorts of crazy shit happen to you, but you had to have something happen to you that was traumatic, that impacted you, or you got exposed to stuff like asbestos or whatever. But in my case, it was mostly psychological. Okay, so my job, I don't know if you guys recall, my job was really intense. I was public affairs. I had to deal with a lot of dead people, bodies and whatnot, and crashes and just really bad graphic things that would happen. It was my job to deal with it, and it ended up affecting me. It affected me. And what they were able to do was link all that with my my service time, and based on what happened, and they were able to verify everything, and then they gave me a disability rating of 50%, which is you would think that would be $2,000. It's not. 50% is like you only get like $900 or something like that, but it's like $900, which would actually allow me to pay for a house or whatever, an apartment. So it actually effectively removes me off the street, as long as I keep working or whatever. But your rating can go up or down, depending on what happens, because they continually evaluate you. And then you could have additional claims, like, if something else happened. Now, I don't think I really have any additional claims that I'm aware of. I'm not planning on claiming things. But like even the hearing, how they had the Army guys with the artillery, with the hearing, the ringing. If you have that ringing in your ear because of all the loud noise, the guns going off, that's a disability, and you can claim that, and the VA will give you a disability rating and pay you. But if you were like me, when the military, when you were in there, they kind of did something to your brain, your head, and you come out and you have a tough time adjusting. Like you ended up in jail, like me, getting arrested for weird, crazy stuff. It might not necessarily be you. Because that's basically what the VA is saying, that the stuff that happened to me after I got out of the military, it was partially because of the military. They gave me a service-connected disability, saying that what happened to me in the military created that situation because my brain had been scrambled. So that's my tip. If you're a veteran, contact the VA, contact the hospital or a clinic near you, especially if you're homeless. And when I say homeless, you could be living in a van. That's considered homeless. You will get services, and you might be homeless in that situation because of your time in the service. If something happened that fried your brain, that made you antisocial or paranoid or full of anxiety or whatever, that's causing you to be in your situation. Now, it depends on you know, everyone's different. It'll depend on your personal case and whatnot, because everybody's job was different. And if you were a combatant, you know, in combat duty and stuff, where you had to see really traumatic or experience traumatic stuff, you probably got impacted. It probably affected you. You know, my job, I did see a lot of really bad things, really graphic stuff that, you know, and then I can't really talk about a lot of it. But it ended up messing me up, and I didn't even know it. When I hit the civilian world, I went to college and I went to school, I thought everything was fine, but it wasn't fine. You know, I wasn't fine. So right now, the psychiatrist is trying to get me back together, trying to get my life stabilized, get my brain back. But that is my tip for veterans. Get in touch with the VA. They're there to help you. And DAV, Disabled American Veterans, the unit near you, will help you file anything you need to file. And if you suffered PTSD, you can file on that. But usually PTSD, it's kind of hard to show PTSD other than the symptoms. But there's things associated with PTSD, you know, that like being paranoid or anxious or things like that, you know, anxiety disorder, or even readjustment, trying to readjust to civilian life after leaving your time in the military. And like I said, you may not even be a combatant. If you were in a position where, let's say you were special ops or whatever, and, you know, you had stuff that, I can't really talk too much about it because, you know, a lot of this stuff is kind of military stuff, kind of military people know, the ones that dealt with classified secrets and other things like that. You can't really talk about it, but it could mess you up. Okay, let me put it that way. So get the help that you need. They are there. I'm still debating about YouTube, what's going to happen. I may continue YouTube. I haven't been really broadcasting that much because I've been working a lot. You know, all the spaceships going up, pretty much almost every single spaceship you see that is launching from America, from Florida, I have something to do with it. Not the actual spaceship, but the people that are working on the spaceships. Like the new telescope that they're putting up, you know, that just launched. There's a project called Lucy that's going up. I'll be working on that. So my life has changed, you know. As far as the YouTube journey, it took, what, 6 years? But from the time that I left the military to now, it's been like 30 years. From the time where things fell apart, it's been about 11 years, 10, 11 years for me to reset. I know some people say, well, you're just lazy, you didn't reset. There were factors in there that made me what you saw. So I'm in process now, just rebuilding myself, recollecting myself, and get my brain sorted out, and dealing with the PTSD and some of the other symptoms, and trying to understand it so that I can control myself more. You know, that I'm aware now that I have some issues. The psychiatrist and you know, basically the VA has shown me that my brain's not right. So I don't know if it's ever going to be right again, but now that I'm aware of it, I kind of hopefully can control, you know, some of it, and negate some of the effects. Because when you're suffering from PTSD and other issues, and you're not aware of it, you know, it's not a good thing to be. So being aware of it is the first thing. But like I said, get the help. The VA will help you. That's pretty much it. I am gonna probably try to broadcast some, but you know, you might see more stuff. I'm thinking of changing the channel to just either my name, Denoy DeBoer, or Living with Denoy, and formerly living in a van, so people don't think it's a different channel. But if they see the name Denoy, you know, then they might stay. But the content should change more. Hopefully a lot more, less depressing stuff. But I know some people still like come to this channel because of the van type stuff. So maybe I'm going to start all over and, you know, show how to build systems like, you know, electricity and whatnot. Even though I've done it in the past, but this time it'll be edited, and it'll be edited and short. You know, so if somebody needs it in an emergency, they can watch a video that's under 10 minutes, not a 2-hour rant like this video right here. But they can just watch a quick video that will hit the points, like how to hook up your phone so it can charge off your car battery and not really worry about draining too much. How to survive Florida heat, you know, with the fan unit. How to basically start with a real basic system, like you don't have any money, you're homeless and you're in a car. And if you're homeless and not in a car, we might do some episodes where we build certain shelters and stuff. I do have access to my land out there. I just need to get a truck or something that can get out there. But, you know, I'm looking at those people and getting out there and stuff. And a lot of people get stuck because it's so muddy. It's like really rough. So I'm debating if I want to keep that land or not. You know, if I keep that land, going out there is kind of an adventure. But then it loses the purpose that I wanted, which was to set up kind of like a off-grid base, you know, like a home away from home. So I'm debating if I want to sell the land or keep it. Still thinking about it, holding on to it right now. At least for now, I'm no longer living in a van or a car. Okay. How much of it I share, I'm still debating, just because of the trolls and the crazies. And I did buy some, I don't know if you guys know the Humble Bundles. Humble Bundle that they push on Facebook every once in a while. They sold a package that had like video editing and multi-camera stuff. So I might start playing with that. So once I stabilize in my new location, I may set up a semi-small studio. So the quality of the videos may be better and they would be edited. I won't be doing a video, 3 videos a day like I was in the past. But I might try to do 1 a week. It depends on, you know, whether or not people actually want to watch or not. And if they don't, that's okay, you know. But the plan eventually is that I am still planning on going to Thailand. But I'm kind of waiting for COVID, you know, to straighten out and travel restrictions to be lifted. And in the meantime, I'm taking advantage of this time to save up some money because I'm going to need it, you know. And, oh, there is one thing I'm thinking of doing. Maybe I'll wait till I actually decide if I'm going to do it or not. But I was thinking, you know, Pay It Forward. Remember Pay It Forward kind of flopped? We tried to do the channel, and that we did get enough people to broadcast live, but then not enough viewers to get it monetized on YouTube. Originally, I was trying to get that channel, Pay It Forward, monetized so it would make money, and then we were going to use the money to help the people who were on that channel. But the channel never got to that point because nobody was watching it. So at this point, what I'm thinking of doing is this channel, okay? I may set aside some money, my money that I earned from this channel, and actually use it to give out to viewers. And you're like, for what? Just for fun. Or, you know, somebody, it's not going to really be Pay It Forward. I don't want to do like a charity type stuff or, you know, emergency fund. We do have the Starfish Network, you know, which I may do another video on to tell people how they can get into it. But it's basically the Pay It Forward, you know. But I may do a channel, this channel here, Living with Denoy, I might do a giveaway. Maybe once a week or once a month, depending on how much money I have coming in from YouTube. The YouTube money is now, you know, basically extra money, not critical money. Before, I had to use the YouTube money to live. Okay, now it's basically an add-on. As long as the VA doesn't take away my disability rating. Because they could do that. They could say, hey, you know what, you're cured. And if they do that, then I'm screwed again. But, I don't know. You know, the psychiatrists and stuff, the evaluations are still continuing. So this is still a work in progress. Let me take time to read what's going on here. Yeah, A Angry 900 makes Thailand possible, real possible. Yeah, the possibility goes way up because on top of that, I also have my retirement as a teacher. Remember that? I didn't get the full retirement because I got my career cut. My career got cut really short, so I'm not getting anything, really, barely anything from my teacher's retirement. But between that and the VA, assuming I continue to get the VA disability, um, I can actually live in Thailand. But the issue is living there. Thailand has all these rules and restrictions. What I'm thinking is probably living in the United States for at least half a year, like home base is the United States, and then I might travel Thailand and the world. So it may be possible. I know people thought I was crazy when I said I wanted to travel and do all that stuff, and I was homeless. But I think that the stars may be lining up for me, setting up for me to live the life I really want, which is to travel. I want to return back to Thailand, take you guys to go see elephant soccer and see the floating markets, to maybe go to the Thai temples, and maybe even talk, that might be stuff I might do just for the viewers. It depends on what the viewers want, because, this channel really is the viewers channel, even though I'm here. I guess I try to do what the viewers, want. So basically, it'll have me traveling and stuff and showing off Thailand and stuff, but I'm thinking I could end up traveling the world. Can't go to really expensive countries, but I might go to countries that are not too expensive, because my retirement and my disability pay, especially once child support stops, will be enough to live off. As long as I don't go crazy, as long as I don't, go extravagant. And if I set things up, I'm thinking it might be a year or more before I can do this, because I'm trying to set up some stuff right now so that I have additional income. Because if I can set up and have additional income coming in, whether it be YouTube or an online store or whatever, then I just have more money, and then I can travel and do stuff. One of the things, like I said, is I'm trying to treat YouTube as almost like a hobby now, and the money that's earned from this channel, right now I still do kind of need it to set up my plans and stuff, but I'd like to be able to put the money that's earned from this channel, at least portions of it, to just give back to the viewers. And what I was going to do is just basically have drawings or something, or maybe have contests or whatnot, and just give money away. It won't be as big as like Mr. Beast and them. He gives away like $10,000 or more. I won't be able to do that, but I have been contacted by a bunch of sponsors wanting to sponsor this channel. So we may do giveaways where, because I generally ask the sponsors to give me one item for review and one for the viewers. And I'll use the money to ship it off to the viewers, themselves. And also just giving money away. It's always fun to give money away. So look forward to that. Changes will be coming real soon. You might see me disappear for a little bit because I'm kind of busy on this end, but definitely when we come back, I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. When we come back, the channel is going to be Living with Denoy. And that way people don't say, what the heck is this channel, and just unsub. But it'll be different, and should be a lot more organized, and hopefully a better channel. Just gonna read here some of your thing. Yeah, Teresa says her dad gets like $3,000 a month. That's pretty good. That's pretty much retirement there. Let's just go. Yeah, it looks like people agree with Living with Denoy. So we'll go ahead and rename the channel to Living with Denoy, and then I'll just put formerly Living in a Van. And Hardin says, congratulations on accepting help from the VA and getting housing. God's continued best to you always. Thank you, Hardin. That's one of the things that vets have a hard time doing. When you're in the military and a vet, most vets, especially the ones you see that are having issues, they normally don't even know or don't want to admit that they have problems. And that's the first step, is actually accepting help. I still have a hard time getting help. I think we're cutting out, so that's probably my signal to hang up here and in the broadcast. But I basically don't really like medication. So, I try not to take any meds. But if you're a veteran and you have drug abuse problems and alcohol problems and stuff, the VA will help you. And if those problems were brought about by your time in the service, you may have a service-connected disability based on that. I don't know for sure. But talking to the VA and also DAV, the Disabled American Veterans, they may be able to get you on the right track. Just scrolling through here. Hey, Angry says, if I head to Chicago, buy me a steak. I'm going to remember that. Because, you know, one of the things I'm planning on doing before I go overseas is actually traveling America again. You know, this time, I don't know if I'm going to travel like on a short term and still work, because like working is good. Working means more money. More money means I can do more stuff when I actually travel and officially fully retire. So right now, I guess you can say I'm semi-retired, even though I'm working full time and really working 2 jobs if you consider YouTube a job. Just scrolling through here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. I will change the channel and then start planning the content. Hopefully you guys will stay tuned and continue to watch and give me suggestions and stuff on how you want the channel to head. So until next time, everyone, God bless you all. Stay safe. Hopefully when I get the teeth, I can talk and it won't be all bad. Take care, everyone. God bless you all. Bye-bye now.